bandwidth down.
Good evening, Stunt Hangar people. This is Rusty. This is Friday, February 23rd, end of another week. Hope everybody had a good week. And the links are posted in the usual place in the At the Bench thread on the Stunt Hangar forums. And so if you click there, you should be able to get the link to both the YouTube watch page and to the live video where you can join us and talk. Unfortunately, the chat box doesn't seem to be working. I do have it up because it seems to work for some people and not others. So give it a try in case you can get in. I know telephones have a problem with it, and PCs are the best thing to watch this with if you've got one. But it's been a great week. We've had weather in the 70s and 80s, and been able to get out to the shop and tinker around a little bit. So if y'all will click the link and come in, we've already got a couple of visitors. We got Sparky, and well, that's all I see right now. I thought I heard somebody else for a minute. Hey, Sparky, how you doing tonight?
Pretty good. You better turn your bandwidth down. You're breaking up.
Okay, let's see what.
Or turn it up. Turn it up, maybe.
Okay, I think down is the best way to stop it from breaking, but we'll try both. What does it sound like now?
I don't know.
Okay, let me try turning it up then.
Turn it up.
Okay, how's it? How's my audio? Is my audio okay?
Oh.
Okay, bandwidth is all the way up now. Got a good picture on my end. How does my audio sound?
Better.
Okay, I'll leave it like that then. Let me turn the TV off. That's burning a little bit of bandwidth. I was watching the Olympics. I can't imagine the TV uses much. This is just like another channel. I hear a lot, some kind of chattering going on in the background, but
nothing on here.
Okay, let me double check, make sure I got my YouTube page turned off, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'll just close that YouTube page. Okay, that's about as good as I can get right there.
That sounds better.
Okay, good. All right, well, I just posted the links, and so people should start dropping in pretty soon. They don't come quite as quickly as they did back when I would send out notifications, but they'll come. We're here, they'll come. So what you been doing?
Go ahead and post. You can go ahead and post the announcement. Don't let them guys troll us.
Well, if they come in and flood us, then we have to shut it down and move somewhere else. So I was hoping to avoid that, and that way we don't get the shows recorded on YouTube, and that's where most of our audience is on watching reruns. That's my reasoning for not posting it, unless you got some other idea for keeping the trolls out. But if you want me to, I'll make it public. I always make it public after the show's over. That way, all of the people that like to watch it at lunch, at work, or wherever, whenever, then they can just tune into your channel anytime. Like, I get people all over the place telling me they watch the show, but it's not because they watch us live. It's because they watch it. It's because they watch it on YouTube. Here comes Jim Ballard. Hope he's got his microphone working tonight. Hey, Jim. It's Alvin again. Same thing, Jim. If you can duplicate the settings you set last time, then it'll start working.
Chipmunk.
This is our new member, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Man, it's been, that's still the same.
Yep, Alvin and the Chipmunks.
He can find the setting, but he has to tinker with it just about every time. Well, you got it synchronized with your mouth, but it's still not intelligible. Yeah, because I want you to be able to tell us what you've done on your twister. I don't see it behind you tonight. We got a meeting up in, at Watt Moore's house tomorrow. You know what? That chattering I'm hearing is happening when I talk, Jim. And when you talk. So we've not only got that, but we've got feedback too. So see if that is a clue. You disappeared on us the other night without saying bye, or maybe you just got kicked off by the internet. Testing. Okay, the chatter went away when I talked. Did you say something? Jim? Say testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, Jim? Yeah, I still hear the same thing a little bit when I talk, but not as bad. Now that sounded like something.
He's froze, I think.
Are you frozen, Jim? No, he's still moving. We got a meeting up at Watt Moore's house tomorrow. That's in the always on the last Saturday every February, and that's one of the most fun meetings because he's got a nice field. You hadn't been to the field at his house, have you, Sparky? After the contest on Sundays, we always traditionally go over there and have a cookout and fly some planes, and usually in October. Well, I think they always do it, but October, the Philly Flyers always come over and do all kinds of entertaining things for us. Band Jock comes over and buys slobs, and they send up a fire balloon, and you know, it's pretty fun.
I want to race Banjock's jet with either one of these two combat wings.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. You'd have to go somewhere else because they won't let you fly those jets at Huntersville.
Yeah, we'll do it at the Nationals or Brodak's one.
Brodak, yeah. There's some good movie of him at Brodak. I think you probably filmed it because I can hear you talking, and I see all of my buddies in it. So.
You ever been to Brodak's?
No, I haven't.
Man, you got to go one time.
Yeah, I know, but the logistics aren't right. I'd have to arrange dialysis, and that would burn 3 days of the week. And I can't finish dialysis and then go out to the field. I just am not able to do anything except for get something to eat and sleep it off for the rest of the day. So it would be difficult, to say the least. I know I could find a clinic up there if I wanted to try. Arrange 6 months ahead of time, get a hotel room. But I don't travel easily, so I don't think I'm going to try to make the trip. Any ideas there, Jim?
I would like to make the trip.
Well, you're talking nicely now. Don't touch
Good.
anything. Now, what did you do?
Honestly, it's hard to say. I went into settings, and then I set them back to default from the Logitech webcam that I have.
Okay.
So, and then I plugged in the earphones, thinking maybe I'm getting feedback. So,
Well, it's perfect now. So whatever you did was right. If you can duplicate it every time you log in, then I guess that's what you'll have to do.
well, I saved the settings, so I'll just plug in my earphones next time I log in and try to
Okay.
get it.
Good. Well, we got 2 viewers on the YouTube side, so we better talk about some airplane stuff. So we would continue talking about Brodacks and racing your combat planes against Banjock's jets. I think that jet might take it, but boy, you sure wouldn't want to have a midair with a jet.
I don't think it would. I think the combat wings are faster.
They might be. That jet's got a lot of inertia though. And he's back on his heels when he flies it. But that thing's got about a quart of fuel in it, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's not that much.
I think it's a half a gallon.
I don't know, but that's a lot of weight slinging around up there. So maybe when it runs low on fuel, it might catch up with your combat plane. He can fly a full pattern with that dadgum jet, though. That's a sight to behold.
Almost a full pattern.
Almost. It's something to behold just on videos. I'd love to see it in real life.
It's noisy.
Yeah.
They are noisy.
I notice all they all have earplugs and earphones on when you're flying it. The noisiest thing I've ever encountered, I think, was a Rossi on David Smith's carrier plane, and he asked me to pit for him one time, and I did. He was up on the circles, just flying it, and man, I cranked that thing up and got the hell out of there. It covered my ears because I had no idea it was going to make that much noise. That was the loudest engine I've ever heard. I don't know what size it was.
60 probably.
Maybe so. Man, that was a badass plane though. It really, when he'd pull full throttle on it, it would really go. But it about destroyed my eardrums because I didn't know any better. I figured it would sound like my FP40 or something when I cranked it, but it was a big difference.
Hey, Jim.
Yes, sir.
This is a motor that I bought off of eBay. And the motor you gave me is about 10 times better. You hear this clicking?
Yeah.
Is that pulling back and forth?
Is that normal? No, it's not pulling back and forth.
Is it at top dead center when you're doing that?
Yep.
I know that there are some engines that make a clicking noise like that, but Jim, I don't know. Jim will have to answer because I don't know.
I don't think that's normal, Sparky. Sounds like it's got some play in the conrod.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I ordered a rod from Phil Spellman, and I bought it off of eBay from Phil Spellman. It'll be here next week. But it's not as nice as the one you gave me.
That one I sent to you, it hasn't been flown that much. I mean, it got broke in, and then it's been through about 3 or 4 combat matches, and that's it. It's not heavily used at all.
Then I got a slow combat motor, a C35.
Looks like Gerald's joining us. I think that's who that is. Yeah. But he hadn't got his microphone and camera going yet. I don't have the blocking controls on, so he should be able to come right in. Let me make sure that. Yeah, there you are. Hey, Gerald.
Well, hi, Rusty. Hi, Sparky. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Gerald.
There's the C-35.
Yeah.
I'm going to run a 994 propeller on it and fly speed limit combat with it.
What's up, Gerald? How you doing tonight?
Good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm pretty good. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm going to a club meeting tomorrow, so I'll be able to hang around with my flying buddies and watch some airplanes. It'll be the first time. And trying dearly to avoid the flu. So anybody who wants to shake hands is going to get a fist bump from me.
I'm just getting over it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you'd been sick. That's nasty stuff. I got
kids bring it in from school.
Yeah, when you got kids in school, they spread all that stuff around. But my wife last weekend went to the beach with a bunch of girlfriends, and they all wanted to go out to a bar, so they did. Except for my wife, she decided just to crawl in bed and read her book. And the 2 days after they got back from the beach, all of those girls that had gone out to the bar had flu.
Oh no!
So,
Your wife was happy that she didn't go.
Yeah, it is. And it's pollen season up here. All the plants are starting to flower up, like the maple tree, for instance, and all of the little fruit trees are starting to bloom. And so people that are allergic to pollen now have double trouble if they've got anything else going on.
Yeah, was it Conrad on your motor there, and Sparky?
No, this motor here makes noise when you pull a crankshaft back and forth.
Plain bearing. The other one.
This motor here, it makes a noise when it's at top dead center.
It sounds like the Conrad.
Yeah, I got a rod coming, but the motor that Jim gave me, I'll get that airplane.
I don't know if it's relevant, but the half-A Cox engines make that noise at top dead center. You can lock it at top dead center and find a little slot back and forth, and it's pretty normal.
Yeah, the ball joint socket always has a bit of slop on it.
I guess that is what it is, yeah.
This motor here, this is the one that Jim gave me. This is a super strong engine. It's like brand new.
Have you had a chance to fly it, Sparky?
No, the weather's pretty bad here. I'm gonna run it Monday.
After a few runs, check and see if it doesn't start making that noise that the other one does at top dead center. Just curious.
I don't think so.
Normally, if you pull the back plate, you can normally see the slop. When they sound that bad, you can normally see it. Diesels are famous for that because of the high loading with the diesel. They normally take out that the Conrod bearings, and I think on the POW diesels they say after something like 20 hours running, check the Conrod, and if it needs replacement is a routine procedure with them.
So when I head to Brodax this year, not only am I going to fly stunt, but I'm going to fly combat.
Well, it'll be exciting anyway. I'll break it up a bit.
Sparky, when is Brodak?
Father's Day.
Father's Day. Okay.
See,
that's been on my bucket list for a long time. Going to Brodak.
Because I don't know how many more Brodax there's going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
John is getting old, and Like 21 years you've been doing it. This will be 22 this year.
Yeah, he'd originally planned on 20 and then decided he was feeling better and let's keep doing it until he can't. So that's good.
Does his son fly at all? Is his son interested in it? Or you continuing it? I know
No.
his son. Oh, no.
No, his sons are attorneys and they want nothing to do with the business, nothing. So when John goes away, the road acts will go away.
It's a bit like that with Duke Fox. His sons weren't interested either, were they? Or his son wasn't interested.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going? Finally got in.
Hey, Steve.
Do you have trouble getting in?
Yeah, I don't know. Now it wants me to sign up for making my emails faster or something, get into them faster. And I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with emails.
Turn on your ad blocker.
But I just go back. I just have to always go back. Now you're on the second page about how to get in, and I just go back that way, click on that, and it'll update it through and let me on.
On my cell phone, I can't use it at all without the ad blocker. The cell phone just locks up completely, and you can't go onto YouTube. It just bombs it with ads. And so you've got to use that ad blocker on the cell phone.
Yeah, it's coming up. I don't know. It's just coming up on here that added something to the toolbar. I don't know. Maybe I'll make it easier.
No telling. Everybody's computer's got different settings and allows different types of ads and cookies and all that kind of stuff in.
So you in Ohio or?
Yeah, I'm in Ohio.
Yeah. How's your new plane coming? You getting any chance at all to work on it?
No, wings over there, fuselage up there, tail feathers are over there. Haven't done shit to it. I built 2 combat airplanes.
Yeah, I seen that. Caught it later. I seen you're building some combat airplanes.
I've been able to get out to the shop a few times since the weather's gotten warm, and I'm not doing much, but I'm doing a little something to the Cardinal every time I go out there. So that's a little something's better than nothing. Hey, Tom. How you doing
tonight? How you guys doing?
I got my Teddy airplane up there hanging on the wall.
What is your Nobler?
Yeah.
Got Samantha in it and everything.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Have you flown it yet?
No.
It says here I got some type of error.
That's what your wife said anyway, but
yeah.
Doesn't appear to be any error from this end.
Okay, I just pushed canceled, whatever.
You're still here.
Seems like everyone's doing okay. All right.
You painted your Stuka.
Yeah, I tell
you. Man, that looks good. You sent me the pictures of it the other day.
That work, you know, that 6 hours of razor blade and cutting that out turned out pretty good, man.
Did your fingers recover?
And I figured out my paint problem. I had a problem of it wouldn't adhere to the surface because it was drying too rapidly. My surface temperature back when I painted that day, you remember Sparky outside underneath the canopy? What was it? About close to about 80 degrees that day.
Yeah.
Well, my surface temperature down here in my shop in my paint booth, it's 68 degrees. So it don't dry as fast. It's slow, and it's damp to the touch for a little bit, you know. Man, I can tape all over that, and it's adhering. I can put I use that yellow frog tape, and yeah, I can sit there and smooth on it and pull it right up, and the paint stays right to the surface. I haven't weighed the plane yet because I got this pipe on it. But you know, it don't feel any heavy. I think I'm doing pretty good so far on weight.
Now, is that another? Is that a full fuse or is that profile?
No, it's a full fuselage. It's my first one I've ever built for shoot quite a while, 30 years or so. There's,
Oh, that's really nice.
I
Oh,
needed
yeah,
some,
that's
you know, when I
nice.
put it on, I put it on the on my Vanessa weight machine, and it was just a tad nose heavy, you know, by an eighth of an inch. So I made these guns out of aluminum tubing, and it's behind the CG, so I'm hoping that it turn, you know, it's giving me a little bit of weight back there. I hope it's okay.
Yeah, you kind of want to start out a little bit nose heavy anyway, but
Well, a tad nose heavy is generally the way I fly them. If I hold it right at the
Me,
hip, it leans forward.
mine's to the edge of where it's almost tail heavy, but not quite.
Yeah.
You put clear on it, it'll be tail heavy.
Yeah, well, yeah. But
I can't believe that pink stuff came out with tan lines like that.
yeah, I mean, I learned a thing on this thing because I can reuse these stencils, but I what I should see, I use poster board because of the weight
Yeah.
of the poster board, and I laid it flat and let it stay there for a while. But I did have some spray get underneath, even though I tightened it,
Yeah.
you know, and taped it underneath. Next time I figured out how to
go back and
figured
get
out how to put an adhesive on my stencil I
it. Go ahead
made.
and drop it off at 8.
So I figured that part out. So if I ever do it
I
again,
don't know if I'll get there back by noon.
but the bottom side I painted, but I sanded the
Yeah,
paint
use
off.
your mic. There you go.
Okay, you're gonna leave it like that now, or you're gonna add?
No, I've still got a little more sanding to reduce the weight, but it's going to be sky blue
Oh, okay.
underneath
It's
there.
got pocket hinges in it.
Pardon?
Got my hinges in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's all I use. They're great. Love it.
I got to say, that came out way better than I expected when I saw those stencils.
Yeah, and I did straighten that cow up for you, Rusty. A little, I hope a little bit.
It looks fine, yeah. I mean,
That line. You remember the line we had?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little ragged before, but yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. But right now I'm making the stencils for the you know, the insignia rodels. German insignia rodels are called.
Are they
So what
called
are you gonna
rodels
power
or
up with?
rondels?
Huh?
Are they rodels or rondels?
I don't know how to say it.
Rondell.
Rondell. Okay. Now this was so far I got $1.50 in the paint job.
What'd you paint it with? House
Apple
paint?
barrel.
Cheap as shit he could find.
Yeah. Apple barrel. This it's the brown is khaki. There it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Walmart carries it every day, but
That's water-based paint, right?
yeah. And I mix acrylic lacquer thinner. I use I can't get DuPont anymore, but I used to use DuPont 3608.
But you're getting lacquer thinner to mix with water base?
Yeah, sure
Holy
am.
shit.
Okay, now the khaki, when it mixes up really well. Okay. And like this white here, it mixes up real crappy. Real crappy. But
Probably because it's so loaded with pigment.
exactly. So, well, at least I got my paint to stick. And
Did you weigh it before the paint and after the paint on it?
what's that?
Did you weigh the model before you painted it? And then after to see how much you're gonna add for paint, weight of paint?
Yeah, I weighed 29.5, and that's before this pipe.
Oh,
I
okay.
got a steel pipe on here for my mount. You know, it was just like it is before I started.
Oh, okay.
My the bastard. I did the same thing with the bastard. My last year's plane. He was out there and saw that.
Oh, okay.
Sparky.
Yeah, I wonder what it weighed.
I weighed it weighed my clear and the color and everything was 5.5 ounces on the bastard.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
This stuff is real super light. I mean,
Now, did you put that over top of just dope down silk spin and stuff, and then?
yeah, I doped it. You know, sealed my balsa wood covering, silk span and poly span, and then I got the DC 540 and primer and sprayed it, and then sanded it till it was all on the floor, and then the color.
I finally convinced my boss to use DC 540 on the trucks.
How's he like it?
Oh, he's used it on his airplanes. None of the other guys in the shop have used this stuff. Just me. He ordered 10 cans, so I got 10 cans in my roll-around cart. But the thing is, when you're doing body work, you're doing bondo work, spot that big around. I spray it on and sand it off real quick. The job gets done super fast, and I can send it right to the paint shop, and they don't have to mess with it. Yeah,
it's instant dry.
Yeah, that's for sure. I really like it, and I noticed that it don't get my sandpaper don't gall up, ball up from friction and heat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's useless when it does that.
Yeah, man, this primer here is on. Anyway, this is a new cheap thing I found at Walmart. That's this transfer mat is called. But thing of it is, do you know how hard it is to work with this thing? All like you can't cut something and lay it on straight. And I think it was Sparky last year at the Nationals. He goes, "Look at your stars and your rondelles. They're not lined up. You know better than that because you're in the military." And I told him, I said, "That's because of my stencils." Well, it's because after I cut it out, this thing is so wobbly that when you lay it on there, I got it screwed up. I got it off. But anyway, I figured out that problem is solved. Here's the same one. It's not all wobbly and everything now, man. I added, I glued on construction paper to it.
Here's what you use: shelf paper.
Well, I got the shelf paper because last year I had problems with my paint pulling off the surface, and so I got the neck. This is at the same place where you buy the shelf paper, but the adhesion is not near as strong as the shelf paper. The shelf paper, man, you could tell when I'd be in the store and I kind of just peeled it back a little bit, and you could tell, boy, my finger took a lot of force to pry off. And this stuff, it's just, to me, I think it's like painter's paint or painter's tape. It's kind of like soft and it sticks, but yet it comes off real easily. That was what I noticed anyway. But then I got, well, hell, man, this is a big problem in keeping this thing down. But I got it figured out.
Could you iron it and make it flat?
This is another Walmart find for $2.97.
What's it called?
The spray adhesive. I spray that construction paper right down on this thing, man, and it's just stiff as a board.
So what sticks it to the model now?
Well, that's I gotta peel it. Paper.
If you don't put the construction paper on it, it wouldn't stick down good, or?
No, it's when you peel this paper back. This is vinyl. It's so thin. Look at it. It's so thin you can't control it.
Oh, okay.
If you have a circle cut out of this and you peel this so it'll stick to your airplane, you won't have a perfect circle. I guarantee you. This thing is, and it stretches so easy. It'll get deformed. So, figured out the problem. I got it solved. You just glue a piece of construction paper. Now, the thing of it is, I tested this with my thinner, and it didn't bleed any red or anything like that. I didn't think about the color of the paper until like, oh, I hope that don't bleed through if I get spray paint on it,
Yeah.
But I stuck a piece right in the lacquer thinner just a little bit ago and rubbed it on some white paper and stuff, and it didn't bleed through. So, and it's a water base. I don't know what it'll do to dope, but I don't dope except to clear anyway. So I'll just use this.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you a question. A few minutes ago, you mentioned yellow frog tape, and I've never heard of that. I know the green only works with latex to keep it from bleeding through the edges. What's the yellow for?
Well, good question. I just got some green today because Walmart don't have the yellow. One of them is a multi-surface, which is the green one, and the yellow one is delicate surface.
Oh.
See, when I couldn't get my paint to stick, I was looking for anything that said delicate. I knew if I could slow the paint down from drying, I figured it would adhere, but I was going to get some reducer, and put a drop in there. But yeah, I never thought about that. I didn't have a paint booth then to where it's like I do now. So I keep the temperatures down.
Well, guys, I got to eat dinner, and then I got to go to bed. I got to get up. I'm going to go machine at John's house tomorrow.
Okay, Sparky.
Yeah, well, have a good one, Sparky.
Have a good
Well,
evening.
catch you later, bud.
Have a good one, Sparky.
All right, I'll see you. Are you going to Brodex, Jim?
I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you there then.
I hope so. I'd like to meet you.
All right, buddy. You guys have a good night.
Good night.
See ya.
See ya. There.
All right. So what's the name of this the clear stuff there that matte tack or whatever?
This is at Walmart. It's called Contact. Oh, I'm on this camera. I don't know. Can you read it?
Yeah, contact. Okay, clear matte.
Contact Clear Matte.
Okay, got that. Now what's the name of the
There's
paint?
actually a website on this. Hang on, I just seen it. There it is. You want the website?
No, I got a Walmart not too far from me. I can.
Well, I know this. I mean, for as much as I got here, I don't know how many feet there is, but there's quite a bit.
Okay. What was the name of that paint now too? Something Heart?
What this paint?
Yeah.
Apple Barrel.
Apple Barrel.
Yep. Yeah, man. I don't know how or why, but I got this recipe from a guy from Australia, and I mean, it's working for me. I mean, it really does mix weird, and it takes a while to mix up a little bit of it. You can't really shake it. You just kind of gotta stir it and blend it in, fold it in, and all of a sudden you'll see that paint melt. It'll get like snot all of a sudden when it melts. It'll happen that quick. So you add the thinner little at a time, and because the thinner's got to mix into that snot, so it takes a little bit to work it. Now the
Minnesota
cat,
Mike wants to know if your PJs have footsies in them.
no, I got my flip flops on.
Oh, he's laughing now. He's not on the chat box. He's on my freaking telephone. That'll work.
Okay, looky, voila. See? Now, here we go. Here's a scrap piece. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
See? I got a scrap piece here. See, I'm peeling it off.
Yeah.
There, voila. There's your sticky stencil.
Cool.
Yeah, this is just fabulous. You know what? I was driving down the road today and I was like, man, what can I get as a stencil, you know? And I thought I had some of that stuff, and I remembered the roll, and I was like, oh yeah. I came up with this construction paper then. That was only $1, and I got, for the construction paper, I got 50 sheets for $1. I got enough to, I got all kinds of different colors too. I got different stencils for different colors. Or another thing, I got 3 stencils to make 1 rodelle is what I got.
Okay.
That'll work.
There it is. I don't know if you can see that on the table or not. There's the 3. The first one I messed up, but I got it figured out now.
Oh, that's good.
Now I'm cutting the white. That's what I'm doing now. Cutting the white out. The white stencil.
Oh man.
I'm quite surprised you managed to dilute your acrylic with water. I thought you had to use a product like this. And that's what I've used when I've diluted acrylic. It's a flow control airbrush medium. And it says on the back that it's the most efficient means of reducing paint viscosity with the least possible dilution. And yeah, that's what you normally use when you're spraying acrylic. But yeah, to thin it with a lacquer thinner, I've never tried that before.
Now, I always use that too. I always use the latex acrylic like that. You know, I didn't know you could do it with thinner. Because usually water and oil doesn't mix.
Yeah.
And this thinner, when it mixes with this apple barrel, when you get it right, it's thick, you know. But if you how much thinner that you put in to thin this stuff down, it's quite a bit. I would say you're probably setting at at least a 60-40. So all that weight right there you got evaporates off, and you really don't have that much color on it.
Interesting. Yeah, let's try it.
Let me interrupt for a second. I just was texting back and forth with Minnesota Mike. If y'all can see the chat box, I put my number up there. But we got 5 viewers on YouTube. If y'all want to text me instead of using the chat box, if it's not working, then text me 803-603-5532 and 803-603-5532. That is Rusty's cell phone. So if you got something you want to say or add to the conversation or ask or whatever, you know, send me a text. We'll use it the same way as the chat box. Hopefully, I'm not giving my number out to anybody that's going to come kill me. I'm going to die soon enough anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Never can tell. It might be one of us.
Might be.
We've been just showing up every week just to get your telephone number.
Oh yeah, and I got it now.
Yeah. I was looking for your number the other day, Jim. I apparently don't have it.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Well, now, did you
Call
write
him
mine
about-
down? You can
Call him
text
about
it.
3 in the morning and give it to him, Jim.
Yeah, that'd be big fun.
I'll give everybody my phone number. I don't care. I get enough of those prank calls anyway.
I don't get much spam mail on my telephone, but I do get a little bit. Somebody keeps calling from a resort saying, since you've stayed at our resort, we'd like to offer you la da 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 da. And I'll just hang up. It comes from a different number every time. But
I found out that I get these calls all the time, and I put on there, put me on a no-call list and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now when they come through, I answer it, and I'm like, right way, because it's my work phone. Like, right way plumbing and heating. You have a plumbing problem? What's the address? Well, they're like, oh, well, I'm sorry, we got the wrong number and all this kind of stuff. Never get a call back. But the other ways, they call back and call back and call back.
yeah.
But if I try to get a job from them, they make damn sure then they get me off that call list.
Yeah, that's a pretty good strategy. But my landline is useless. All we get is, especially during election time, we get lots of calls. But 99% of every time that phone rings, it's nobody I want to talk to. And so I figure if it's important, they'll leave a message. And
well, that's like
I just don't even look at it. So if you call me on that, you may or may not get me to call back.
I'm a smart aleck. I say, mule barn head jackass speaking.
What I did on my old answer machine, I haven't did this one yet, but I put on there, I'm probably monitoring this call. So, say something to see if I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And usually right then they'll hang up, or if it's a friend, then
most of mine are automated calls, and there's no person on the other end of the line.
Curse of technology again.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know I've never made an international call before. So every country, I guess, has got different numbering systems. And I don't know if somebody like Gerald, for instance, could just dial my area code and number and if it would even ring.
I just need to get I put in the code for America, and then I put in your area code and your number. I've called up different places in America, especially when I've needed to order something over the internet.
So you just have to prefix a certain number for America and then dial it.
I think like for New Zealand, it's 006, and then you put in the area code and then the other number. But yeah, it's normally like a 2 or 3 digit number for each country.
Okay, so I could just Google country code, country telephone codes, and find out how to call anybody whose number I knew. Something like that.
Yeah. At least nowadays, it's not too dear to call overseas. At least for us, it's not too dear. It used to be frightfully expensive to call overseas, but it's relatively cheap now.
Now with cell phones, I guess it's not free with cell phones, I guess, either. I'd have to ask Verizon or read on their website.
Well, yeah, a lot of people's got unlimited data or unlimited talk and text. But it used to be that they couldn't call your cell phone because you paid for that. But now they're seeming to call cell phones and stuff. So I don't know how they get around the law on that.
A lot of people travel with their phones, so they've got to be able to use it all over the place. So it's become a lot more flexible in time. It used to be that you really had to sort out all of that before you traveled. You really had to make sure you had the available credits or whatever to be able to.
Yeah, my first phone, I got 100 minutes, and I forget what it cost me, just crazy amount of money for 100 minutes. And it's like, man, you didn't want no phony phone calls on that, burning up your minutes that quick.
Yes. I suppose with Skype and like with Hangouts, it's changed the whole field. It means you're able to communicate so much easier now. And
Yeah.
if you've got people within a hobby, there's so many different means of communication now. And with the email,
I know it just seems crazy that, you know, you're in New Zealand and you're just as clear and everything as somebody just 2 states away, or,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that.
There are server installations in different areas of the world. For instance, YouTube, that brings us all closer together. It's not like Gerald's talking to his local office and then going to satellite, then coming back to USA. It's going to a full-blown server mirror, and then, you know, no telling how many times it bounces through different ones all close to each other, and still no appreciable delay, and then comes in just like he's next door.
Well, I know. I'll ask him a question and he answers me within, you know, just like he's right here in the same room with me, like there is no delay or something.
Yeah.
It does vary at times, though. At times it can be very slow, but I think we're lucky because it's our afternoon here, and I'm in a rural area, and they said we're on 4G wireless connection to the internet, but they've actually said in our area no further people can come on the 4G network because they're already at their peak. So if they allowed more people on, then I imagine the times would slow down drastically. But we have we've had those problems in the past where they overload the network and everything just crawls. But,
so you're on a wireless network?
Yeah, it's basically like a cell phone connection. So
how expensive is this kind of a deal for you to burn data up like this?
Oh, it's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be frightfully expensive, but for our all our data and phone calls, we'd spend about.
Is that me? Yeah.
I don't know what that beeping is.
Sorry, man. That was me.
What's it cost you a month then, Gerald?
This is my Facebook.
About 70 US a month it would be.
Oh, that's it? Oh, man, that's cheap.
Yeah, that's for all our data, all our internet connection, and all our phone. Well, not including mobile. Mobile is still separate to that. Now we probably me and my wife spend probably about $20 each on mobile a month, or a little bit less for me. But yeah, it's relatively cheap. It used to be a lot more expensive. I can just remember the era where you couldn't really just watch videos on the internet. It was just too dear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Changed a lot.
And days are long gone where the phone on the wall rings and somebody answers it and they holler, "Rusty, you got a call. It's long distance," and you had to hurry to the phone because you were burning money. And now phone calls are just, you know, they don't cost anything anymore.
Well, I know that's like because my dad was from Florida, and they'd always have certain times when people would call or whatever from the family, and then so the whole family's here. You have like 3 telephones, and everybody's on a, you know, 3 of us are on telephone here, and 3 of them are on a telephone there. The cousins, all this kind of stuff back and forth. And it's like, better get all your talking done in about 10 minutes because that's all my dad was going to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah. My family, extended family, is spread all over the place. So I remember that as well. That you'd have family in Australia, family in Germany, some in England, and all those calls became, they were very important, weren't they? They cost so much.
When's the last time you saw a payphone?
Yeah, there's one down in our local shops.
Used to have a cup full of quarters if you made a long distance call on those.
Yeah. Yeah, you know,
come on and tell you better put more money in.
Tell you what, them old phone booths, though, they've saved my life a couple times.
Oh, I know it. I mean, the bad part is that I forgot my cell phone, went down to the was headed to the party store. I was going to get some pack of cigarettes and some pop and shit. My truck quit. I don't have my cell phone. There is no pay phones. I walked to a store so I could make a phone call. Then I realized I didn't know my daughter's telephone number. Because
Yeah.
it's all stored in the phone and shit, so I don't memorize them anymore.
Yeah, we've been ruined by contact lists. One of my most prized skills was being able to remember a couple of hundred different numbers, you know, and now you don't have to know anybody's. I don't know my son's phone number. I barely know my
son.
You know, I still know my brother's, you know, my mom and dad's old phone number. But that was, you know, back in the day when I was born, that was my mom and dad's phone number. And they had it until they moved up here out of 30 miles north. But that was, you know, the phone number I knew to get a hold of them, or my home phone for 40 years. You know, but I still know my next door neighbor, my best friend's phone number when he was a kid and stuff like that, because you memorized them all.
Yeah.
You know, my aunts and uncles, and a lot of them I still remember, but we always did letter, you know, L-E, Cherry, C-R, you know, Cherry, they called it.
Yeah, we were Sunset and Alpine. And,
yeah, that's how we, you know, so you always knew the first two numbers. But yeah, I don't remember when they added numbers. I remember friends I had a party line. And
yeah, my aunt and uncle had a party line at their beach house.
Yeah, you had to know how many rings was calling you. It was either 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, 4 rings. You know, different, because there was 4 people on that party line, and never could use it when you wanted to.
And then back in the, remember, the Andy Griffith days, you had to, in the small towns, you had to call the phone company and tell them who you wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
It would automatically call the phone company, I guess, when you picked up the handset.
Well, my mom said that when her and my dad got their house and stuff, and he got out of the Navy, that was when they're first coming out with private lines. Well, the phone company, anybody who got out of the service got first choice at a private line. So they got one right away, and they said all their friends were so mad because none of them could get private lines. And that was my mom and dad's phone number, like I said, for 40 years. But it was because my dad got out of the Navy, and that was just the deal they did for servicemen.
That's good. They did something for them.
Yeah. So they got, you know, but shit, now nobody remembers them days, you know, pay phones. And remember when they were a dime and then they went up to 20 cents? We all bitched. 20 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
But well, I wish someone here did more electric stuff. I bought that that Jetty spin deal, and it comes with a switch, and it says a nice little cover that says on and off, but it doesn't come apart to where you can put it through the fuselage. So I'm like, I guess I'm going to have to cut the wires, because they're soldered on both ends, put it through, and then solder the wires back together, I guess, is the only way to do it.
Well, just to put the switch on the outside. Will they
I didn't
connect on?
catch what kind of device you were talking about. What is it?
It's the ESC. I'll go get it. I'll show you guys. Maybe you guys got an idea. I ain't understanding it though.
Yeah.
The recorded stream is watching Tom make this stencil. I hope that information didn't just mess him up. Now he'll get self-conscious and botch something up.
Oh, get so nervous. Ah! Yeah. That's only when I fly. That's only when I fly. Hey, back in my younger days, I worked, I DJ'd at a radio station for a while. So I did that for 4 years. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Good DJ. What kind of music did you play? Was it a music station?
It was the top 40 back then, bud. Back in the 80s, big hairdos.
Live Jive 45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, here's the switch. And it's got the holes drilled in it. Am I holding it close enough?
Yeah. You might be holding it too close.
So
Okay.
that's the switch.
Yeah.
And on the back side, it's soldered there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's soldered up into here. So how in the hell do I get this through a hole that big?
You cut it and resolder it.
Resolder it.
That's the only thing I'm thinking of is cut it and resolder it.
I tell you what.
Get
What the
yourself-
hell's that?
Don't cut it at the switch. Don't solder the switch. Cut the wire back a ways and do your solder. And that way you don't get that switch hot again.
Oh, okay.
Because that's
Well,
plastic.
That's the stupidest thing I ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You know, if it came apart somehow or then plugged on, and you know, the other ones always plug in. This switch plugs into the timer. Could turn that on and off, but yeah, I'm like, hell, they soldered that all together, and you can't. And I measured it, and if I cut the hole this big, it still won't go through the hole. That, you know, I'm thinking, oh, I'll just make it that bit, you know, the width wise. That don't work either.
Hey, I know what you could do. You're mounting this on the plane, right?
Yeah.
What you could do is right where it goes on the. Is it on the side of the fuselage or where? Or
Yeah, the side of the
inside?
fuselage.
On the side.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and cut a square hole a 1/4 inch bigger than what you need for that, or bigger than that even, and cut a great big square out. And then cut your patch to go in that square, and then you got the patch to remove to be able to cut around the switch. And then you can take that patch, slice it in half after you get the switch good. You got 2 halves, put your little hatch in there, and then put the 2 pieces in there and flush it up. Yeah, I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It was old Uncle Terry firing up his peace pipe. How you doing, bud?
Hey, good guys.
Terry.
Now, hey
Evening,
guys.
Terry.
Happy
Gerald.
Friday.
Hey everybody.
Hello, Terry.
Tom.
Howdy.
Everybody looks good.
Yeah, we're good. I'm about
Yeah.
as good looking as I've ever been, I think. Let's
I
see.
think you are too.
I'm a handsome devil.
I'm a lot better
Yeah.
looking through that hole in the internet than I am in real life.
I wonder what happened to Charles tonight.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He's usually on by now.
All right, here I'm going to
Steve.
show you something on prices you were talking about. There's a perfect bell crank I bought when I got my first Voodoo in 1961. Okay, you see the price?
Yeah.
That's expensive back in 1961.
How much were you
Horrible.
making? How much were you making an hour back then?
$1.50.
Man, that's
$1.50.
piracy.
I was 13.
So it was about 1/3 of your wages.
Yeah. So here it jumps to $1. I don't know when this one was bought.
I got some just like that.
Yeah, and then this one goes to $1.49. And I got a couple over there that go up to $2.99, and then that was the end of the perfect metal bell cranks.
Well, that's just like my first job. I was making 50 cents an hour
Oh yeah, man, I had those.
working at a skating rink. So for my brother's birthday, I buy him a set of wheels, and with my, you know, discount whenever they were $20. So I had to work 40 hours to buy him that birthday present. And I got a birthday coming up, and I said, you know what? You've never spent 40 hours worth of your wages on me for a birthday present. I think this year is a good year to do that.
Yeah,
He says, yeah, like hell.
a new Spectrum radio or something,
Yeah.
right? At least.
Well, what he makes him, probably a whole lot more than that. I get a really, super nice radio or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
But yeah, money didn't mean, you know, the same as it does now back when I was 15, 16 years old. Because I knew I got to go home and I could eat and it was warm.
Yeah, see, you took that stuff for granted, man.
Yeah, that was just fun money. You know, I didn't have to worry about the heat, and food, electric, and all that kind of shit.
No.
Didn't realize how good I had it.
Yep. Oh yeah, man.
Well, you got one we've never seen before hanging behind you, Terry.
Oh, that's my. I sent a picture to Gerald. They, you know, I've got a bunch of airplanes hanging in the attic, and that's how I store my control line planes. Somebody was asking the other night. I watched on the replay. I hang mine by the lead outs, and I've done it for years, and there's no difficulty with it.
I don't see any problem with that.
No.
It's better if they're secured, you know, boxed in. But
Yeah. These were hanging in the attic. So a longtime friend that I had sent last summer, right before a year and a half ago, right before I got in with you guys, which was really good. I sent some one of those double combat cat kits up to a friend who wasn't flying control line in a long time. At any rate, we got talking the other night, and he said, you know, you don't remember when you met me, but you were at the field and you had that red Voodoo, and you wouldn't let me hold it. You were waiting for your friend Gary. And I remember my parents saying, don't let those little kids get near those planes. They'll get hurt. So I didn't let this kid hold it, but we met later on, and we flew RC together for years. He's still up there, and he's producing videos. He doesn't want me to mention his name. He's real shy. Most of you, I've sent you his videos so you know who it is.
I know his name. Huh?
And anyway, he says, you kept repairing that plane. I said, hey, listen, would you believe it if I told you I still have that original Voodoo? He says, no way. I said, I've got it. After lunch, I'm going in the attic to get it because it's got a fairly new Fox 40 Combat on it. And I want to get the motor. I remembered it was silver and it was covered in monocoat, but it started with the toilet paper tissue. Sorry, Sparky, that they give you in the kit. I covered it with that first, and I painted it with aerogloss out of the bottle, red. And after a couple weeks of flying it, I stripped all that stuff off and covered it with the blue silk, Chinese silk.
Oh, okay.
With yellow sunburst. So I go up in the attic, and I didn't remember this. Yeah, I didn't remember this scheme on it. This you know, Iron Cross thing.
Yeah.
And then my buddy starts laughing. He says, oh, I remember when you covered that. He goes, you were working in the airlines. You came home for summer to visit with your parents. He said, we were doing that. See, Balsa USA is those guys are my friends. They're all cheeseheads from Wisconsin. Mm. Beautiful 1/3 and quarter scale World War I stuff, by the way. Anyway, this was the influence of too much of that stuff.
So you got that plane.
So this is in 1961. I was 13. Now, being as I'm a little bit of a Sheldon Cooper, I've kept a logbook of literally every balsa wood airplane I've ever built, including gliders. And I just dug this out the other night because I had to go in there looking for those metal bell cranks. I knew I had them. And I was writing little notes because I write notes on stuff. I like sign the interiors of my airplane.
Yeah, I do too.
And when I built this one in 61, the notes that I had on the page, we were just getting out of that ridiculous, threat of nuclear attack and all the duck and cover nonsense. Do you remember that?
I remember it.
Yeah.
That's almost out of my time frame,
Yeah.
but I do remember.
So anyway, this thing, it's on its third motor mount. It's the second tail, but all the tails are original Voodoo elevators. This is the after, this is a homemade boom because it had the original short boom. But what's wild is when I get the covering off of it, I'm going to take some pictures because short of the leading edge being split a dozen times, all the ribs are like all spliced and pieced onto, but the thing flies great and it will fly again. Here, I
When
got to
first
show you
looked
this.
at it, I didn't realize it was an iron cross. What I saw was the negative image, and I said
Oh.
that looks like a four-blade or a three-blade prop, a four-blade prop. And
Yeah.
then when you said iron cross, my brain flipped it,
Yeah.
and there it was. There was a
Yeah.
Batman movie that came out with a bat symbol that did the same thing,
Similar.
and I couldn't
Similar,
figure out what
yeah.
the hell it was. And then I wrote,
See, and then I have that checkerboard I kept with that. Well, now I do the sunburst. And well, anyway, this
What's the hole in there for? Is that
well, that's where the fuel tank sits. And this is the original fuel tank. And what's wild about it, it's got two propeller strikes in the bottom from where it got hit from underneath. This is why, I've never run bladders, and it's just I've never needed to. We always ran the hard tanks. Al from New Jersey says, "Oh, we only run bladders. We never run hard tanks." I don't know. It's just, I guess, what you grew up with and what you're used to.
yeah, I'm a bladder guy. I prefer that for all of my half days. I don't do any combat stuff, but
yeah.
I always ran a hard tank. Ran crankcase.
What's the rail? What's the rail measurement or the boom?
Oh, the boom measurement. Yeah, it's this here. Let me.
I think Al said 5.5 inches, something like that.
Yeah. It's here. I've got
but
it.
That's an original one or something like that.
Well,
from back in the day, right?
no. The original is real short. I have one of those in a box also. Let me just grab. See, what I've been doing is I've been cutting kits. See, Gerald knows what Terry's doing. I'm creating voodoo kits. I'm just waiting on leading edge material from SIG. I just did the order. Okay, here's the boom. And one of the secrets with the boom is you drill out the pivot point and you put in a little piece of inner nylon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Super glue it, and then after it cures, you slice it, right off at the edge.
Right.
Okay, so you've got an overall fork length of 8 inches. Okay, that's the full length. And the fork section itself goes back 3 inches. So from the trailing edge to the pivot point is 5 inches.
Yep. Okay.
What was it? What was the original? When they do that because it didn't turn fast enough?
Well, see, the original one turned, I thought, very fast. But as the engines picked up and that design got more popular, the planes picked up speed. So as the speed picks up, you need more leverage to turn the plane. So the super swoop, I think, came out next. Or, geez, that one guy whose website went down, I used to go to that quite a bit. Al mentioned it the other night. His name escapes me now. But everybody then stretched the booms out, and it just makes it turn sharper.
My little turns too big of a loops, and I wonder if I booms longer on that, if that would help that problem.
I would think so. The original Voodoo plans, which let me see if I can show this to you. Can you see them over on the wall there?
Yeah.
Yeah, can't see details, but we can see it.
Yeah, they really, there really aren't building plans. But the profile and the top view if you look up, is exactly the same as the Junior Satan or Little Satan.
Exactly.
I mean, my friends and I didn't have those kits home 10 minutes. We were waiting for the motor mounts to dry up because we had to use white glue and rubber band the life out of them and wait 24 hours because there was no epoxy.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't dare use amboid on motor mounts ever.
Right.
Always white glue.
No, the
Steve
solid.
knows. Steve knows. He's almost as old as I am, not
Yeah.
quite.
Because
Well,
that Ambroid it would get
liquefies
real
when
hard,
solvents hit it.
right? It get real hard and vibrations would crack it.
Correct.
Yeah.
After
Solvents in the
time.
fuel would melt it.
Yeah, like after time. Originally, it had kind of a flexible hold, which was good. But after time, it would dry and shrink back, actually, and crack.
I remember that. Yep.
But something that I do always is even on my RC planes that I construct with CA and stuff, I always go back with a thin solution. I'm using that Tight Bond 3 now on either a small paintbrush or something, and I don't go crazy with it, but I lay fillets in on a lot of stuff, like all the shear webs, and wing attachments.
Do you thin your tight bond with water?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, distilled water, and I have the distilled water in this little, here it is right here. It's in here. See, it's in this. One of those little medicine things. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, hey, Bob Hunt and those guys, that's all they build with, from what I understand. It's
What?
Tight Bond glues, aliphatic resins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at a swap meet and I got me a metal syringe for putting on white glue where you could put dots out.
Yep.
That thing works so nice. I'll be damned if I forgot and left it out and it dried.
Oh,
Sweet.
no.
Oh.
And I still have it, but I can't get it apart. And it's like,
I wonder
I
if
don't
you
know,
could cook it apart. If it's metal, is the syringe plastic or is that metal too?
it's rubber. It was a
Oh, yeah.
metal syringe with a rubber little stopper deal. So none of the damn white glue would come by. It was so nice.
Yeah.
And I screwed it up and I'm like, gosh, damn it, Steve.
What was that you were just holding up?
Yeah,
to the
Buddy's
camera?
got one of those, and you can make rivets with it. Is that what yours was for?
Yeah,
Or
you could
just-
do rivets, but
Yeah.
what I used it for was
Or
like
just-
Tom Morris, where
Yeah,
he glues stuff and he puts little dots every half inch or whatever, and then glues that stuff
Yep.
down. It worked really nice, but
It's like a rivet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Tom,
Rivet.
what were you just holding up to the camera a minute ago?
A syringe.
Oh, man, that's
one?
nice.
Yeah, that's the one I had right
Yeah,
there.
that's it. Exactly.
It's great.
Yeah, that's
I've just
it.
got one of those little monojet.
Mine looks just like that, but it don't come apart no more.
Oh man, that's a bummer, dude. It really sucks.
I just use one of those.
But
little
I was
plastic
thinking, what
syringes
Terry
with-
was saying is, what happened if you put it in an electric oven and get it hot and see what it would do.
Or
It
hot
might
water,
it
simmering
might
water.
rubberize, rubber enough to where you might be able to pull the whole thing out.
Yeah, see, the white glue is not water resistant. The only one that I've ever done that is this new one. This where is it? It's right here. This stuff here. This stuff is unbelievable.
Oh, Tight Bond 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's waterproof. Now those gas hydros that I build, one of the most recent kits is this SLR missile by Zip Kits. Great kit. Old round nose hydro. I'll show you. I've got one in primer. I'll show it to you on Monday. Anyway, in their new construction thing, it says, oh, we recommend you use this Tight Bond 3 because it's waterproof. I've always used a little medium CA to like hold the pieces in place.
Yeah.
And then I go back with slow cure epoxy. But the guy who wanted me to build this boat for him, he said, no, I've gone ahead and everything's coming to your house. And along with it came this a bottle of this. And I used it pretty liberal on the putting the frame together. And the frame went to because it's sort of a lubricant, the real tight laser cutting, the frame went together beautiful. And you only had to hold it for a few seconds for that aliphatic glue to lock itself up. But if you weren't tight enough, if you pushed, you could still get it to move. So the frame came out beautiful. I went back in with a hemostat and a little piece of dish sponge and cleaned up all the joints. And really, much lighter than the epoxy if you're into the weight issue. And I think it's as strong, if not stronger. So anyway, I'm going to use it on my voodoos. I'll let you know how it works.
So is the type one a different formula to a PVA? Because I normally use PVA and I've used aliphatic, but I find the aliphatic harder.
Yeah, I think it is a little different formula. Let's see. It's waterproof. It's rated for exterior, interior, super strength, longer assembly time, water cleanup. Mine kicked off in about 2.5 hours where I could remove the clamps with no problem of anything coming apart. Now, when I build these RC hydros, that's the only part I've used that resin on, and then the whole interior gets coated with epoxy. But that's in there. That's basically what's holding the frame together. So, Gerald, that address you sent me, that shipping address, if I send them a box addressed to you, it gets to you, right?
It does, yeah. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Yeah.
So if I was to stick a bottle of this tight bond glue in there and put it in Ziplocs, I don't think that would be an issue. I'll have to check because there might be something on liquids.
Yeah, there might be. They don't know that it's water-based, so they'll always be overly cautious. I'll have a look around. I might find tight bond at one of the hardware stores around here. I just have to have a good look around and see what I can find.
Well, see what you can find. I'm waiting on the people at SIG. I know they had some rough sailing there for a while these new guys were doing the buyout, but now they've got Alien aircraft, which I really like those airplanes. And I called them about some leading edge stuff, and I told them, listen, I want that rock hard stuff. He goes, well, we've got some, and he said, I can run it, but most guys don't want that. I said, you send me like 25 of those rock hard leading edges. So be patient. You know what they say? The oxen is slow, but the earth is patient.
That sounds good. That's what I normally use. It's a exterior PVA.
Yep.
And it's okay, but it's steady slow. But again, I do a similar trick. I'll use a paintbrush and run over my cyno joints because I don't trust the cyno joint. Here's Charles.
Holy, there he is, showing up late.
Yeah.
All right.
Green one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Better late than never, Charles.
Yes. Hey, Joe. Hi, Gabby. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Terry.
Since you're late, you have to buy ice cream for everybody.
Fair enough.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I've got a craving for pistachios. I need to pick me up a bag.
Hey, if you can get to Costco, they have these ones that have a little pepper on them, and they are really tasty. Really? Yeah, they're kind of a pepper salt mixture. They've got them at Costco.
I never
We're headed there tomorrow. I'm gonna get another bag.
Remember when they were always dyed red? I hadn't seen the red ones in forever now. But you always got your fingers all red.
All red when you're done eating them.
Yeah.
Unhealthy color.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend that every year her mom got her pistachios for Christmas. She always wanted them. She'd always get a big old thing of pistachios and eat them.
Yeah. And then
red
near the
fingertips
bottom
for
of
a
the
week.
bag, you got to get the pliers out to open those ones that aren't popped very well.
I eat boiled peanuts all the time. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I cook them. I only get the ones when they're in season so you can get them straight out of the ground, because most of the places where you buy them in a store are actually dried peanuts. They've been through a dryer and they don't have any moisture in them, and it's a whole different thing to eat. I like the new crop.
Well, you got that right.
Only way we can get them up here is called peanut patch.
In the can. Those are, yeah, you got to kind of put some more cooking on those. They're not bad, but they're always, the nuts are always stuck in the shell, so you got to use your bottom teeth to drag them out of the shell.
But I mean, they're really pretty good compared to what we used to be able to get, you know, in canned peanuts or whatever.
Yeah, they're pretty good if you can't get real boiled fresh peanuts.
Never tried them.
Had boiled fresh peanuts. I've only had them when they're dry roasted or roasted.
You never had boiled peanuts?
Boiled peanuts are pretty good, but you need, I agree with Rusty 100%. They have to be like fresh.
Yeah.
Just like your sweet corn, man.
And they're
out
different
of the field
varieties.
and in the pot.
They're different varieties. We've got a couple that I like, are the Tennessee Reds, are, depending on where they're grown, they're different named, but Redskins. And then there's something we call Valencias here, which is a big fat peanut. And when you open it up, a new one is white skinned inside, and they've got a different flavor. And you know, when you also, if you get young ones that came out of the ground early, then you get a lot of pops in them, and you don't have to take the shells off. You just eat the pops just like they are, and they're so delicious. But it's all in choosing. It's half of the game is choosing the nuts. And then we see them in the grocery stores, and different varieties cook different lengths of time. And I don't like to cook them till they're mushy, like a lot of people do. Somebody's got YouTube running in the background.
Not me.
But anyway, I'll give y'all a review on the peanuts in the spring when they start coming in. They usually show up about May.
I brought some to Brodak because I'd said something about that, and they're like, boiled peanuts. So I brought them, but few people ate them, but they didn't eat very many of them.
Yeah.
But that's how it usually is. I had a girlfriend, and her dad wanted to try them, and I bought some over there, and he ate a few of them, and he's like, well, I really don't know. And a couple weeks later, he goes, you got any more than peanuts? He said, he goes, you got to get over the texture and what you think a peanut is supposed to be like in your mouth.
Yeah.
And he said that he let him sit there. He'd try a couple more. He tried a couple more, and all of a sudden he ate all of them up. And he's like, man, these things are pretty good.
You can't stop, man. They are so good.
Yeah.
Minnesota Mike just texted me and says he lives in pistachio country to send me my address. I will, Mike.
Oh man, get them.
Yeah, the concept of a boiled peanut is difficult for people that don't live in peanut country, but it's just a treat. It's like the oysters of the ground, you know. So
yeah, my dog loves them too.
Oh yeah, they don't have to shell them either. They just eat the shell and everything.
She'd eat her weight in damn boiled peanuts if you let her. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. You know, my brother.
I'll have to boil some and put them in a cooler with some dry ice and send y'all a sampler pack of them. A couple of different varieties. When the
Do you guys do any spicy ones? Do you ever spice up your water?
A lot of people do, but I don't. I just use rock salt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm hitting mine with some Everglades and stuff. You know, it's that Florida thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
people put stuff in them.
Not heavy, not heavy. Just a little
bite.
tang at the end there. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little at the end. Yeah, Steve, people will come by. They go, "What are these?" Oh, those are boiled peanuts. Oh, I've never had them. So they have maybe only half of it and put it in the trash. But then a little while later, they're headed back over there to
Yeah.
get another taste.
Yeah.
And I say, "What do you think?" "I don't know yet. I don't know." But by the end of the night, they want to know all about it because they're gone.
Well, that's like my brother when he was, I don't know, he's probably six years old. We were in my grandma's house and she's making boiled peanuts, and we had a bowl of them, and we were shelling them and stuff like that. And he come in with somebody. He wasn't there for a while, and he's like, "What's that?" You know. And we told him, me and my cousin said, "They're my boiled wasps' eggs."
Oh,
Oh,
And
good
he's
one.
like, "No." My dad's trying to get him to try. I ain't gonna eat them wasp
No way.
eggs.
That's not gonna happen.
I thought my dad would have knocked my head off. He walks in and goes, wham, slaps me upside. "What the hell's wrong with you?" He says. Tell him that.
It's all good.
But he still doesn't. He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "Every time I see a boiled peanut now, I'm thinking, that's a damn wasp egg."
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, peanuts bigger than an adult wasp.
Yeah, I know it. But, you know, just, he says, "I still think of that." He goes, "I remember you telling me that when I was 5 or 6 years old and I wouldn't eat them." Dad got mad at me.
Yeah. That's
Try.
hard to become.
But yeah, when my grandma made boiled, she had this huge pot. And I don't know how many pounds of peanuts could go in that thing. Probably 25, 30 pounds.
Wow.
Boil them all up with rock salt. That damn kitchen was 150 degrees in there, Florida, cooking them damn things. Hell, you couldn't even stand to be in the house. With all the boiling water and steam and humidity.
I think I just saw Otto or Max walk by the camera.
Yeah, it's Otto.
Okay.
He's the one.
Hey, Otto, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, you have to.
Well,
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
I'm good. I just wanted to show you this.
it's your
My
Hellcat.
Hellcat.
Oh,
Wow.
you're flying bigger ones now, aren't you?
I'll stand back so it's got a
K&B
K&B what's it called?
40.
K&B 40 on it.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
It'll be no time at all. You just be going grabbing your dad's right off the wall and flying them.
Oh well, I made it my
You're the only one on it.
I'm the only one who flew it.
Yeah, you test flew it on its maiden
Yeah.
flight.
Wow.
And, nobody else has flown it
You've flown it in 2 contests
Yeah.
so far, haven't you? Yeah.
too.
All right, good.
You like the way it flies?
Yeah, it flies nice.
It's nice to feel a good hard pull on the end of the lines, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot better than the small little
Yeah.
model.
A lot of the small models when there's wind, they just don't work.
They get blown around, whereas
Yeah.
that one doesn't get affected by the wind much. Well, what are the sort of nuts that you like? Tell them what sort of nuts you like eating. You're a
Well, I
peanut.
like what's it called?
Macadamia.
Macadamia.
Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
macadamia nuts are good.
Oh, yeah.
They'll make your stomach sick if you eat them too fast and too many of them. So will pecan.
Yeah, that's Samantha damn macadamia nut cookies. Oh my God.
I love roasted pecans too. Put them on a pan in the oven with some butter and salt. That's so good.
Yeah, I can eat my weight in pecans also.
Fine.
Pecan tree seems to have given up the ghost. It hadn't produced in about two or 3 years now.
Now, my dad said when he was a kid, there was a thing to where if a pecan tree stopped making pecans, someone came up, they said, you need to pound some nails into the tree and it'll produce pecans. And he said it works. He goes, that old pecan tree in our yard probably had 1,000 nails in it.
There's some more into it.
But you can try it. They say if you pound some nails in them, something
Maybe
about
put some iron on the ground.
Something about it. They'll start producing pecans again.
I've heard about putting copper nails in your tree, and it works like spraying your tree with copper oxychloride. It helps protect against certain bugs. I've heard about that. But
Yeah, now that's believable. Copper is a good anti, I don't know what you call it, but it's not like it's kind of like an antibiotic.
Antifungal or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the copper sulfate.
Antimicrobial. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
that's why they make moonshine in copper. It kills anything that would be in it. You know, you even see like Budweiser, they all have copper stills. They cook their beer in and everything else because it'll kill germs and stuff. But I did find out from an old guy, we got some sort of oak tree here that they won't drop their leaves until the spring of the year. So all the other leaves, they drop in the fall and you clean them all up. And you got these oak trees that come spring, when the new leaves come on, they drop all their leaves.
Yeah, mine just did. I got 2 of them. Just dropped their leaves this week.
So he told me, he said, you take an extension cord out there, to cut the end off and get 2 bare wires. He goes, plug it in, walk out there and touch that tree with that 110. He goes, it'll drop them leaves. And I thought it was a bunch of bullshit. But I went and did it. The next day, all the leaves were off that tree.
Wow.
How long did he leave the cord in contact with the tree?
Oh, I only did it like maybe 10 seconds.
So what? You put the 2 ends on either side of the tree, or one in the ground and one in the tree?
Either side of the tree, just so I only had them spread out far enough so I didn't shock myself.
Yeah. Okay.
But
I'm not going to do that, but it's nice to know.
Well, next fall, if you don't want to rake twice, try it. It worked at my house, and the 3 that I had around there, then everything dropped at one time, and once I cleaned it up come spring, I didn't have to mess with it again.
I think our oak trees actually drop twice a year, if I'm not mistaken. Twice, maybe even 3 times. But at certain times of the year, it's a little what I call oak worms, which is little pollen carrying, wormy looking things, and they fall and cover everything. And then acorns come, and then the leaves come. So it goes through several stages of its life cycle.
Now, you guys got live oaks down there?
Yeah, that's what I think we're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know. We got damn oak trees, and the one oak tree has a rougher bark, and the other one has kind of a smoother bark, and I don't know what the difference is in them.
I call the smooth bark one scrub oaks, but I don't know what the real name of it is. There are all kinds of different varieties of oaks.
But they're not, it's not 100% smooth, but we have oak trees with bark that, have an inch divot in them and stuff. It was really rough bark. And the other stuff is just like what I consider regular bark, like you'd have on a maple and stuff like that. But I used to have them, and then I had American sycamores, which I love the look of the tree and stuff. But them are the worst leaves to clean up.
Very messy.
Well, yeah, they're messy, but they get hard.
Yeah,
it's like the veins in them get tough. You can't shred them or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, the live oak leaves are a bitch to sweep off of the front porch, and they're so stiff that the broom and they're slick on top, but they grab the cement on the bottom, so the broom just goes right over them. But they do mulch pretty good if you got a good sharp lawnmower blade.
Live there in California, Charles. Tell them the leaves don't even fall off the trees there, do they?
They do. They do. Certain
do they? Yeah, when they die. You guys have one season, summer.
I know, but you know what? This week has been a bad week for flying. I actually I had a day off and I could go flying, but it was, I know this is not cold to you guys, but it's like 44 degrees.
That's cold to me
freezing cold to me. And then the wind
Yeah,
was blowing about.
That's cold.
I was in my long sleeve T-shirt, putting in a radiator on my driveway at 42 degrees. Man, I was sweating.
Yes. The wind, it wasn't the cold that stopped me. The wind was blowing around 16 to 20 mile an hour winds out here. And
That
with the
makes
cold, with the cold breeze.
That'll make 40 degrees cold. A good wind will.
Well, probably drop it another 10 degrees.
Yeah, so it was just freezing cold. So I didn't fly today. You know, I was prepared for it, had my planes, and so I was a little disappointed. And I flew. Monday was a holiday, right? So I flew Monday, and it was really windy that day. But my friend, he only gets off on holiday, so we just toughed it out. But I only had one flight this week. I mean, one day of flying.
See, that's when you fly your combat planes in the windy days.
You know what? Monday, after I flew my Stringer one time, I said that's enough, because when the motor shut off, I was really apprehensive about landing it downwind. I didn't want to try to land it with the going upwind. And so I got it down in one piece. I said, that's it. So I got my combat planes out, and I flew combat the rest of the day. And it was nothing. Combat planes went right through it.
Nothing to it. Yeah,
Nothing.
that Strega with that big chunky airfoil, you got to have air moving over that wing or it stalls. I mean, but when it's flying good.
Yeah.
You know, when people see my Strega on the wall, when they get up to it and they see the cord of the wing, they go, holy smokes. You know, it's like when you open your kit box and you see the fuselage cut out for the wing, you go, holy smokes. Big Jim. That's a big Jim airfoil.
That is a big Jim airplane. Yeah, after the Pattern Master.
Yep. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, everybody's like, what is that, about a 4-inch?
Yeah.
I know, it looks like it's 4 inches
It's
thick.
like a 2x4.
Yeah, it's not quite 4 inches. It's 3 and something though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's over 3.
Yeah.
A little bit over 3, not a whole lot, but yeah, it's a thick wing. So it's a good flying plane, I tell you. I really enjoy it. But I have a friend of mine gave me a deal I couldn't refuse, so I bought a Brodak Oriental off of him with a Brodak 40. I just wanted the motor.
Yeah, that's a good
I've wanted a Brodak 40. I've never had one, and so
you'll
I bought the plane for $100, and it's an ARF. Doesn't have the cowl. I just put in an order with Brodak for a cowl, and it doesn't have a canopy either. But
you
I
can
just
make one.
Samantha, one more thing.
Do you have a heat gun?
With a Oriental with a Brodak 40 than any other airplane.
Wow.
It's really a good flying airplane.
Yeah, I haven't flown it. I just ran the motor. I just love how, I mean, when that motor is doing a 4-cycle, then when it goes to the 2, it is a radical
jump.
They call that a hard brake, but it's phenomenal. Can't wait to fly.
Well, Brodak is taking names for the list when the 40s come in. I put 2 on reserve the other day, if you call them.
All right.
And Patty's going to be leaving, and the other girl left already.
Was it Cheryl?
Was there for, Cheryl was there. You know, she's not there anymore.
Oh,
I called yesterday, and she told me, I go, was this Cheryl? She said, no, Cheryl's not here no longer.
Yeah, you
here.
probably talked to Vicky now. It's Vicky, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Terry meets them all right away.
Yeah, they all know about Candyman.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't realize they're all leaving.
Well, these aren't spring chickens.
Yeah, a lot of them been there for a lot of years.
Yeah, it looks like hard work too, judging by that video that Charles did.
Yeah.
Was that you that made that video, Charles?
Yeah, I made that video, the touring of Brodaks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so
good. Yep.
How's it going over there at the work table, Tom?
Oh, messed up a little bit, so I'm going to do it another way. I'm on one of my stencils. Did you see what I'm going to put on the tail?
No, I hadn't had the camera on you lately.
Yeah, let's see it.
this is I didn't want to put a swastika. So I thought, well, this right here, can you see that?
Looks like
Yeah, kinda.
It's not clear, but we can.
It's a it's Red Cross. I don't know.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, I like
gonna,
that.
I'm gonna look at it for a while and see if I want to do it, but
I think it
was
looks good.
It was the German Red Cross, so at least
Yeah, I think it looks good.
yeah.
It's still got the Wehrmacht eagle, so it gets the point across. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's got the swastika and the eagle.
Yeah.
I figured it'd be a little different.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it on a tail before.
So what kit is that?
That's the RSM laser cut kit.
Okay.
It's Don Mills old time legal Stuka.
Oh, okay.
So everything's built just like it was in 1951, except
So
for
what motor are you putting in it?
the LA 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'm shooting for a projection weight of no more than 34.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that I'm hoping that 25 my buddy and said, oh yeah, that would be fine because that 25 is actually like a Fox 35.
Yeah.
And that's on the plans. If you don't put the 25 on, then you put the Fox 35 on.
Yep.
So I did it better. I've got motor mounts in there for a 40, 46 or a 40 size if I want. So I got a LA 40 here that if this is too heavy, I'll put that in there.
Oh, okay.
But I think I think the 25 will be just perfect.
Yeah. It should be real good.
Yeah. There's another fella that had this same kit. He says he's had several of them. He loves them. So he said, you'll like it. It'll be a good flying plane.
The other thing is you can get that Enya 30. And that damn thing will turn a big propeller.
It'll turn what?
It'll turn a big propeller.
Come on in.
That Enya 30. I don't know why that thing has so much power, but that thing, I've turned a 11-inch propeller with one of mine.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna try a Jeff Traxel thought that maybe I could go with a 3-blade. And he sent me, I've got a 10-4, I think it is.
10-4 3-blade?
Yeah.
That'd be like 11-4.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I was going to try that. We think that it'd be okay to put it on this 25.
Yeah, you can see what it does of it,
Right. But I don't even have a prop for this 25 yet.
I think a 9.4 is what I always flew on 25.
A what?
Yeah, 9.4, 9.5. Mine, I got a 9.5. It seems to like it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell much difference between a 5 and a 4 pitch. That's always the first thing I try on a 25 anyway, and then just go from there.
Okay.
If someone got a 10-4, I've used it with some OS 25s, a 10-4, and if the model's light, it works quite well too.
Yeah.
Lock the door, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got a Enya 29, one of the old ones. I run a 10-4 on that. It really likes it. That's a light little motor too.
I've only got one Enya engine. I've never even cranked it, so I don't have any experience with them.
Well, they're smooth runners. I love Enyas.
Mine's a 35 with the square Venturi with the black plastic top on it.
Yeah, a little shroud on the top.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, put that on a combat airplane.
Oh man, yes, absolutely.
I think I'm really running.
So that one's pretty powerful, is it?
Oh yeah, I
It'll
had
run
one.
circles around Sparky's planes.
Yeah, I had one on a Brodak Super Clown, and it was too heavy for it, for one thing.
Oh,
But
I see it. See it, Gerald. Very good.
but it was so damn fast and stuff. It was just crazy. And the propeller came off, and it did a shaft run.
Oh,
Wow.
And it finally just quit. And my brother was flying it, landed the airplane. We lost running, the thrust washer, all that kind of. Never hurt that motor at all. I still use it, but that was the most screaming I ever heard a motor do until my brother's speed plane at 29 OPS did a shaft run.
Oh yeah.
It melted the piston right down.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
But
Well,
if it was going so fast, and the high pitched noise coming out of it, we were talking about it today. I said, if it had went any further, only dogs could have heard that engine run.
wow.
Because it
never heard
was
one.
just making a squeal noise, like almost a squeak. It was turning so many RPM.
Oh, that hurts just to think about.
Yeah, poor motor.
Did it weld it? Did the piston weld itself to the liner?
Yeah. Well, took the head off, and it had just about the whole piston was gone. It was just stuck, stuck in the liner, but where the rod was hooked on, it all melted right off. Melted right away from the rod and the pin and everything.
It must have run like that for a pretty good while.
About 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And when Otto's motor did that last week, had the shaft run with his OE. He was sort of holding it up before his model. I just put it straight in the ground vertical, and it stopped the motor pretty instantly, and it doesn't seem to have harmed the motor, at least. But I've done the tricks you talked about. I've roughened up the drive washer and the prop, so hopefully it'll be.
Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, if you have one of those little engraver tools, those electric engravers, you can do all the metal parts with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put little star patterns on them. You'll look,
Right. Yeah, just little radial lines is
Yeah.
what I do. I
do that to all the McCoys too. The old McCoys just have a black washer. It's real slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just do it with my Dremel cutoff wheel.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've done it both ways. Both work good.
It gets ugly though. You got to hold it really tight and steady so it doesn't walk around when you try to cut the lines.
That's for sure. Well, guys, I'm gonna get off. I'm whipped. Been up since.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, I got to get up and go to a meeting up in Chester, South Carolina, so I don't want to go to bed too late tonight either. We got about 20 more minutes until midnight.
Holy cow!
I'm gonna make it a little shorter tonight, but I'll try to get on Monday and talk to everybody.
Okay, great. Look forward.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Good going, Steve.
Good seeing you.
He's gone.
I went out and piddled with the Cardinal a little in the shop this afternoon. It sounds like a broken record. I'm still messing around with the nose on it, but I about got
That's
it.
all right.
Move
Right,
on.
man.
That's the
Slow
most
and
critical
steady.
part. You know what?
Yes, it is.
I have got the holes on the top a little bit closer to the edge than I like them, and wondering if I would just be wasting my time or if it would be any help if I took some couple of pieces of 30-second ply and epoxied them up underneath inside of the the front, the fork where the engine mounts.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt if you got the room.
Yeah, I
Hurt.
got there's probably a 1/16 of clearance between the engine and the beam, and I could put at least one 30-second piece of ply in there, and it would be something. I can't feel any bulge where the hole goes through underneath, so that's a good sign.
Well, it
And
should be all right, but it wouldn't hurt to do it.
Yeah, if I can, I will. I think I'll do that. But yeah, I got all of the places scrapped out that need to be sanded off. So it's time to slap that side doubler on or tripler on and start sanding so I can get this thing painted. It
There you
looks
go.
good with its shiny silver nose cone on it.
That's the look.
The other day, last week, I decided it was time to put some CA on the blind nuts, and so I picked up a bottle of medium CA because I didn't want it to run everywhere and get on the threads and everything. Well, I put what I thought was a tiny little drop. The next thing you know, I knew the fucking stuff was coming out the other side of the fuselage.
Yeah.
Glued the screw head to the engine on one side and glued the blind nut to the threads on the bolt on the other side. And I'm like, God, that was a motherfucker to get loose.
Yeah.
I thought, how the hell am I going to get this thing out of there? I sure didn't want to break it off accidentally and have to try to drill it out without botching it. And this is one of the ones that's too close to the edge, too. So, but finally, I just packed it up, went back in the house.
Yeah, that's send you back to the house, all right.
Yeah. So the next night I went out, or the next morning I went out and took all the rest of the bolts out, and then took a drop of acetone, and the bolts about a ½ inch too long. I hadn't cut them off, so I just put some acetone on the threads and let them run down there and wet everything. Did that on both sides, and then got some pliers on my better of my hex keys and put it in there and wrenched it around, and it finally loosened up and came out. So I didn't.
Without cutting the blind nuts?
So here, what'd you say, Charles?
Without ruining the blind nuts?
Yeah, well, I threw the blind nut away and took the bolt over to the wire brush table grinder and cleaned it up, and it's fine. I put new blind nuts on. The next day I went out after I fixed all that up and dumped a bottle of acetone in the case that holds my electronic digital caliper. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Got the caliper out of it and shook it off and dried it the best I could. And of course that smeared the paint on all the letters and frosted the glass. And then I picked up the case, and the black foam inside of it had turned to mush, and I had that black all over my hands. And like, I am such a damn idiot. And I'm glad none of y'all can see me working in the shop. But it seems to work. I thought I was going to have a sticky button there for a while, but all the buttons on it work. I can read the numbers, and so it's okay. But yeah, sometimes there you go. I'm talk about a monkey fucking a football. That's Charles's favorite of my expressions. I think that's what I look like working in shops sometimes. At least I know when to quit, or maybe I'm a little late on that one. But
well, that was a bad day. That was just a bad day, buddy. Whew.
Well, see, the problem is my hands are not the same as they were. I used to complain about them, but walking with that cane and the walker has exacerbated the carpal tunnel, and I can't feel anything in some of these fingers anymore. And so I drop everything, and I can't twist things around, and I can't open a pair of pliers anymore. It takes two hands to open pliers and then grip them and put them on what I want. And so it's getting really ridiculous. I got an appointment to have that checked out. I'm hoping they can fix some of that. But it was so numb today. I was out there with a pair of pliers, a pair of hemostats, and I couldn't close them. I said, my hemostats are stuck. And I looked down, and my index finger was in between the two levers, and I couldn't even feel that.
You didn't cut yourself.
I could cut that finger off and wouldn't even know it. I mean, so that's a little unnerving.
Yeah, it's too bad, man.
So Jim, you got trim on your plane on the twister?
What'd you say, Terry?
Jim's twister. Any updates on the twister?
Well, why don't you tell us about it, Jim? What's going on with your twister?
It's ready to go.
Oh, let's need the right with it.
Ready to go. I really, really like that 2K clear.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
No question.
Is it ready to fuel and fly right now?
Huh?
Could you feel it and fly it right now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's that ready?
It's
Even
done.
the eyelets on.
I'm just waiting for a day when the weather is going to cooperate, and I'm going to go fly it.
It's looking
Good
good
on you.
back there.
Can you show it to me, Jim?
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh,
that
yeah.
looks good. That
Let
looks good.
me put the camera on you.
Hold it a little bit higher, Jim, until you're above the pictures of us. Hold her a little bit higher. Very nice. Very nice. So what motor do you have on there?
Box
That's a
35.
Fox 35.
Oh, wow. All right. And who's that landing gear? Who makes that landing gear?
It came off my old Buster, 35-year-old Buster. It's a Dural aluminum landing gear.
Oh, it's just painted black.
Well, it's anodized.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
it-
came that way. Yeah, they
It's
came black anodized.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Really? That looks good.
That's what I got on this one too. It's aluminum gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, aluminum gear. There's
Yep, right there.
Oh, yeah. Those are nice controls.
Very nice. Looks
Yeah.
good.
it's a carbon fiber tube with 440 all thread JB welded in, and then
Yeah.
I've got ball links on all of the
There you go.
bell crank all the way back to the elevator.
Those carbon tubes look so much better than arrow shafts. I mean, arrow shafts are fine, but they're big, fat, and ugly. I like the slim tubes because they don't flex either. You don't have to have a ferry.
They're pretty stiff, and
Yeah,
and
they
they
won't
work really well.
It's really good.
Hey, listen, at the dollar store the other day, I stopped in there. They have kites. And don't worry about if it's a dragon or a butterfly kite. Buy the kite for the $4.99. Throw all the nylon away, and you keep all the fittings and the carbon rods. You get about $20 worth of carbon.
Wow.
Perfect stuff. Perfect.
Oh, well, that's a good idea, Terry.
Yeah.
I need to get some carbon rods for my old box kite.
Oh, very nice. That looks really good, Jim.
That's
Very nice.
adjustable rudder, down and dirty.
I see that. Yeah, very nice. Very good.
I hope that works out good for you.
Yeah, it should. Nice.
Should fly nice.
Yeah,
I hope
looks like
so. It's just
nice and
the
level.
weather for the next week is not. It's just not conducive
Yeah.
to a maiden flight. So as soon as the wind is below 20 miles an hour, I'll
Here,
go
see
out
if you
and fly.
can guess which that one is. Rusty will get it right away.
Oh, it's a TD. It's a medallion.
Yeah, 15.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, this and
Now that 15's
like
got a conrod and a conrod on the top end, doesn't it? Rather than
correct.
a ball socket.
Yes, sir.
They've been known to come
And it's
out.
I've got the TD props. I have the sleeves that came in a pack of 6. And it loves that plastic prop, that TD prop, man. It just loves it.
And the bottom is checkerboard, like the other ones.
Yep.
All right.
Wing. Yep,
Very
that's
nice.
my color. Yep.
Looks very nice.
And I cut this everything but the motor mounts, and we added this little skid down here. And this back part here was cut with X-Acto knife.
Wow, very nice. Yeah, I really like your Boshi though. That's my favorite.
This one. Yeah, I brought all the 15s out here. I've got to build one more. This is the Bassa.
Oh, Bassa. Okay.
Yeah, this has the McCoy 19 on it, and what a nice sounding motor.
Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine about that plane, and he was thinking about supersizing it. He likes flying bigger planes.
Yeah, they make the original one I built was a 35, and then I heard they had scaled down the plans, and I didn't order the scaled down plans. I just kind of scaled them down on my own. It's really not rocket science to do it. But I love
There's a
seeing how
35 McCoy for you, Terry.
oh, nice one. Old one too.
Oh, this here, I built this one in 1979.
Wow.
Looks
don't-
like
What
you
was the
covered
name
it
of that?
with
Is that a
rosary
kit?
bands.
I can't remember what it is. I don't know. I can't remember what the hell it was. I covered it in silk,
Yeah, that's what I was doing back then.
you know, but
Looks sort of familiar. Actually, it looks like it was covered with grocery bags.
Hey,
all I
I,
know is when you're
my
flying it,
grocery
you're
bag
saying, "Oh,
plane's
shit."
over there. Yeah, they all look good when you're a kid, man. And when it's screaming around the circle, who cares? So I broke into my engine collection, I told you. I mean, after this little incident with the family and health issues, I figured, what am I saving these things for? I'm going to build them and enjoy them. So I've got one still in a crystal case, but here's a new one that I've got one in a Combat Cat, and I'm putting this one in an original Voodoo.
Oh, looks nice.
So we'll have an original Voodoo and a Combat Cat, both with the same new McCoys. And we'll go to Brodak and we can take turns flying these things.
That's
What kind of glow plug you got in that?
35?
But that's a brand new, huh?
35?
Yeah, 35.
Very nice.
Glow plug you got in it?
You know, this is the stock plug, and most of the plugs are the gold plugs, like in the other one. But this was one of the newer motors, and I don't know if the plug anodized. It's a new plug. I've not run it or fueled it, but that's the stock plug. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, but it's not as gold as the one in the other plane. But anywho, you know, I miss those old contests where they used to have prize tables, right? And the guys that I flew control line with, I was like the youngest member, and they dragged me to these. We had like 3-4 fields in our small town of 80,000 back in the day, in this late 50s, early 60s. So if you did anything, and then they gave you those raffle tickets, and you could buy them, and they'd come. The men would come over and say, "Here, watch these tickets for me." Well, you'd get drawn, and you could go pick a prize from table one.
Yes.
Man, they had motors and stuff and kits.
Yeah.
So Terry grabbed all the motors.
Yes, exactly.
And I still have some, and they're still in the cardboard sleeve, let alone the crystal case.
Wow.
And they had the huge price of $5.95.
And work all week for that.
$5.95 for a McCoy 35 with a wrench.
But that was a lot of money back then.
It was a lot of money.
yeah.
I got 50 cents a week for cutting the grass and shoveling the snow. That was a lot of money.
Me too.
Yep.
I've heard those McCoys have inconsistent metallurgy, and some of them wear out the first time you use them, and others last for ages. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that might seem to be the case, but I think it's all about how you treat them when you get them and the proper fuel that you put in them.
Yeah.
I've seen a guy back,
fuel.
yep, 4 or 5 years ago, bought a new one off eBay, crystal case. I mean, it was new, but he didn't even get a full run out of it because he ran cool power in it, real lean.
Oh,
and
God.
It's just the wrong, you know, hey, I like cool power in its place, but it's not for old engines. There's not enough caster in it.
Yeah, not for steel engine.
No caster in it.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
when you
Cool
start
power is synthetic.
you got
Yeah, it's
some
all
motor.
synthetic.
Because I run cool power on my Strega all the time.
Yeah.
But I add extra synthetic oil to it. I bring it up to at least 20% synthetic. But you know, it's a new motor and it's designed for that stuff. So
Pure synthetic, no caster.
no caster. The Omega has caster, but the cool power is all synthetic. The green stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I got a couple of gallons of it.
Well, the young guys who I'm mentoring into control line gave me 2 quarts, a Tower Hobbies. I'll have to look at Vintage Fuel. It's out in the, we have a little garden building where I keep the chlorine and gasoline and stuff because we don't keep it in the garage here. At any rate, that's where I keep my airplane fuel, unfortunately. But as long as you keep it cap tight and you use those, you know, I'll go ahead and email you. I think I showed Charles. I have the slip on those little pills that absorb the moisture in your fuel.
Yeah.
And you can, yeah, move them. Well, it's not quite silica. It's something different. But you can move those things from gallon to gallon. And as they absorb water, they swell up. And then you eventually discard them.
Oh,
but this is like the 3rd or 4th gallon that I've put them in, and they're just only slightly larger, and I'm in Florida. So
where do you buy that?
Well, I think you can get it at Home Depot or you can buy it online. And I think the smallest you can get is like a 3-pound bag. So if Sparky got 3 pounds of this for like $12, he could give you a little envelope full. You only need 60 beads per gallon. And like I say, you reuse them. You can reuse them over and over. But I'll go ahead and my son's scanner took a dump, so I'll get it to you, or just get a real close picture and you can see what it is. Real easy.
I'll look for it.
Chemical.
I got to go buy some landing belts anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, it's good stuff. But I think if you break those motors in correctly, you know, I've got McCoys that I've had since I'm like 10. I'm going to be 70. Do they run as good as this new one does? No, because I probably got 100 flights on them.
Yeah.
And how many flights are you supposed to get out of a $6 motor? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, certainly more than one. So you didn't use the right fuel.
Yeah.
Because they will burn out. And the cases will get holes in them. People say, oh, I got a bad case. No, you didn't. You burned the motor up. But anyway, you'll hear them. They have a distinct sound. I mean, when I flew the Combat Cat the other day with the brand new 35 on it, this man did a U-turn. He said, man, I haven't heard that sound in 50 years. No muffler, wood prop, meow.
I tell you what, that McCoy has a distinctive sound, don't it?
You are absolutely right, Tom.
I'm curious now. Next time I go to a contest, I'm going to look around for somebody flying a McCoy and see what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's cool because I tell you what, when you start it up and it's running, you get it running just right, you people just walk over.
Yep.
Like, what in the hell is that?
It's got a different little bark to it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Gazoon tight.
So I'm playing with fuels, doing some additive oils and things, but I'm trying to get missile mist. I want that vapor trail. I want that chemtrail, man.
Yeah.
Gary's chemtrail and call the.
I want that chemtrail on my airplane.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm using more castor oil per gallon because I'm throwing oil in them LA 46s.
That's a good
keep
thing.
Them cool and to tone them down a little bit it helps in getting a 4.2 run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they like oil.
But I don't try to 4.2 my LAs.
But it really does blow it all over the damn plane.
Mm-hmm.
Messy.
Yeah, it can be.
Oh yeah, it's messy.
It's about that time, people.
Yeah, but I'm watching. I've been watching the Olympics.
I'm watching them a little bit.
The men's curling gold round is tonight, but it's not for another hour, maybe an hour and a half. But it'll
the girls play last night.
Hey, have the Olympics been wussified or what?
Have they what?
Been wussified.
I don't know. They're doing some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I'm watching. There's this one snowboarder, and he had a helmet, and he shined it into the camera and went like this, and all of his kids took a crayon and drew pictures on his helmet.
Oh,
Put their
Yeah,
name
cool.
on it,
Very
and then
cool.
he had it clear coated.
very cool.
That was his racing helmet, man.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Man, I
well,
saw one guy smack the edge the other night.
on that half pipe.
Mhm,
Oh yeah,
mhm.
man, did you see that?
Two of them.
Yeah,
I
he
thought I
did.
saw his
Yeah,
leg
not
turn
good.
the wrong way, but he got up and walked away. I was expecting the helicopter to take him away.
Well, he skied away on one leg, not putting any weight down on the injured leg.
Oh, was he
Right,
on
that
one
was-
leg? I didn't
Yeah,
notice.
he just skied on one leg.
That was the first one.
Yeah,
I think he
his
broke
leg
that.
his leg was broke. There's no question.
Oh, I know it.
There's
saw it.
plenty of YouTube on it. The YouTube guys love that stuff.
I know they slow mo it, don't they?
Yeah, yes, they do. And digitize it and zoom in and everything else.
Yeah.
Hey, Rusty.
You can't hide today.
Rusty, I need, you're a half-a guru. I've got
That's debatable. Let me
TD049 and I need a needle valve.
let me see the valve body again.
It's a TD. Beam mount. Nice.
Okay, back it up a little bit. It's not a square brass valve body, is it? Is it just a stock?
Yeah, it goes underneath the aluminum venturi.
Yeah, I know, but I want to see if it's a fine thread or a stock thread.
Hard to tell.
I can't tell. It's in the shadows.
Here's my newest acquisition.
I'll send you a stock needle valve if that doesn't
Yeah, I've
fit.
got a few too. Hey, if you guys want TD stuff, I'll send it to Rusty and he can divvy it out because I don't think I'll be building more than I've already built. I've got motor mounts. I got those fuel tank mounts. I've got some metal bell cranks. I'll just send me your address, Rusty. I'll send them to you. You throw them out to the
okay. Yeah, I can see
409 guys.
I can see the front of that. That's rounded, so that's a stock. I'll send you a needle valve for it.
I'm pretty sure it's stock. I used to fly it in half-a combat, but
I'll just send you a whole needle valve. I got plenty of them because I put those square Kern craft valves on all of mine. So all of these are just sitting in a drawer for me. That's a what size machine? Is that a 049 you said?
It's 049.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll send you what I got. And I still got to send Charles his tanks too, and Steve his something. Oh, his TD09.
What about me?
Promises I need to get down to the mailbox.
So Charles, do you fly 049 too?
A little bit, not very much. I have some of my FA planes I was hoping for my kids to fly, but they're just too sensitive.
Yeah, like if you have them, I mean, I've got some stuff. I don't think I'll be using it. Yeah, I'm going to hang on to a few of the. Well, I've got the conversions for the 049s and the 09s to go to a standard gold glow plug instead of the TV power. I've got that, but I have
very handy.
Yeah, I have
some of those.
Yeah, I got a couple of those I picked up, and those came out of the. I got the tackle box from my friend that passed away, and he had a bunch of half-a stuff too.
Okay.
I haven't even gone through it all, so I'll go through it, box it up, and Rusty can throw it out. So that's the motor I just got for my latest combat plane.
What is that?
It's an OS-46 RC motor because I'm going 2-channel on my next combat plane.
Wow.
I'm going to have throttle and I'm going to have release the streamer and start the smoke.
Hang on, I'm on the call. Hang on.
Is that a ball bearing engine, Terry?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Ball bearing on sale, Tower Hobbies, 149. And what a little monster it is.
All right. Well,
all right, guys.
On the phone. I'll wait till he comes back and say goodbye. But I'll rummage up those needle valves and put them in my pile of promises. and get down to the post office and distribute them. And
Well,
then,
I'll send you a PM.
okay. And then whenever Terry, if he sends me some stuff, and I'll distribute it, whoever wants it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll put a grab bag together for you. I'm going through all my stuff. And man, I got a ton of it.
All right, folks. Well,
All right,
I guess
guys.
we'll see you back here Friday night. And nobody's on YouTube watching right now, but for all of y'all, I appreciate you coming and entertaining me and each other. And we'll see you Monday night. Got to think
All
about
right,
what day it is. All
Thank you.
right, so
See you
fair
guys.
winds, tight lines, and see
Good
you
night,
later.
guys.
Good
See
night.
ya.
In 3, 2, 1.